Today's the day I start putting my bed platform together. This has been a long time coming. I've had this van for over a year, but I'm finally starting to make some progress. Now that I've got the floor in, and I've got my sliding trays built, and I know how high they are, and I know that my bikes will fit underneath these rails, I can finally proceed. One of the big holdups in getting this thing going was getting these rails positioned right to be positioned high enough. Initially, I was hoping to get them mounted onto brackets on these ribs, but that would have been too low. And then I was looking at getting just a piece of flat metal bar, or maybe a 2x4 even, and mounting it up to this vertical rib on this side and on that side, and mounting the brackets on that. And then a few weeks ago, this fellow on the big old Sprinter group posted up a photo of his interior with these same rails in the same spots, and he just had them laid in. And I'm like, oh, did you just drop them in as an example of where they're going to go? And I zoomed in on the picture, and I noticed there's all these slots at the bottom of the windows, and it's like, does this thing fit? And sure enough, let's see if I can pop this out. It pops right out. So you can see these Scorva rails from Ikea have this tab, and it's a perfect size for this little slot. All you have to do is flip it over, position it right, and just give it a bump. And it goes right in, and it stays really well. So when I figured that out, I tried it out here with one of these rails, popped it in, went back, got my bike tray, got my bike, got a couple of extra pieces of plywood to lay under the trays to simulate the space, the gap. Put the bike in here, and it fit perfect. So that was a game changer. I knew I could just get going with the rest of it. So now I've got all my extruded aluminum rails cut, and I've got hardware coming. The last bit of hardware is supposed to arrive any minute now via post office, so we'll see when that happens. If you go back in my old videos, you're gonna find a really crappy one where I started working on a bed platform prototype, and this is the piece of it I saved, and this is just to check positioning and size. This thing is off still. I've made some adjustments, but this is basically how the bed's going to work. The back end's going to fold up, and this will come down out to about 60 inches, and that's going to be the end of the garage. That's the length of the bike tray to accommodate the length of the bike. I'm going to have some sliders on these 4 points, and one's going to have a brake so I can lock it down, unlock it. There'll be straps on either corner to hold that up, so when I pull it out, it's going to stay up. But for now, this thing just drops. And that extends to a full-size length. That's 75 inches. And let's see if I can get this. I've got tape down to simulate where things are going to be. This area right here is going to be a bench. This area here is going to be a floor-to-ceiling fixture that's going to have a little slide-out pantry on the bottom and electrical panels, fuse panel, monitors, all that on top. So this thing is designed, and those measurements are designed so the bed comes out and stops at that point. And the same thing on the other side. That's going to be a floor-to-ceiling fixture that's got shower hardware in it. Shower pan's going to go right there. And that's going to be a bench. So this has room to come out. So once I get that last bit of hardware, I can start putting this stuff together. Any minute now.
I can't even explain how excited I am right now.
Back when I was doing my research, I found the channel of this fellow, Alex, single track sampler, who had done a bed very similar to what I was looking at, but I wanted to do it a little bit differently than he did.
Move a little bit.
So I've got all this hardware, and the last bit just showed up. So time to get started putting this together. These are the linear motion pieces that this fits into. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but there we go. And this material is UMHW, I believe, ultra high moisture. I forget what the W means. It means it's a little bit naturally slicker than the base material, so everything slides in it a lot easier. There's gonna be 2 of these on either side. This one has brake holes in it, unlike this one. And what you do, you loosen it up. And you fit the rail down. This is really hard with one hand. That way, so that carriage bolt goes in. And you tighten it down. Tighten it down very well, but you get the idea. It's not going to go. I'm going to get a proper knob so I can get some good grip on that. That's what's going to keep the bed platform in place on either position. I've got my corner brackets. This is what I was waiting on. And they all come individually wrapped. Fun. All the T-nuts and the bolts for those. Hinges for the 2 pieces and the mounting hardware. I've got these little hooks, not hooks, loops, that I'm going to install on the rails. Those will have carabiners that I can pop in and out, connected to these straps that are adjustable, so I can adjust the position of the back if I need to. I've got these 3-foot, 3-inch wide pieces of aluminum bar, flat bar, that these are going to mount to. I wanted to mount them up on the Scorver rails, but the positioning is limited. So I have to mount these to the Scorver rails, and then the linear motion pieces to those. And I've got, what am I thinking? These pieces of 1/4 inch. My friend down the street with the shop had some spare pieces laying around. Those slot right in. I'm going to cut those to the proper length and fit them in, and those are going to be basically braces for the bed slats, which I've got sitting in a random pile right here. So let's get to putting this thing together.